Alrighty, coming up on Good Morning Lone Star, we're talking about a new homicide investigation in East Austin. I got the latest information and details that you need to know this morning. Coming up as well, we take a look at a new air traffic controller which is coming to Austin Airport. We'll tell you that what it does and what does it do for the airports. Also, coming up, we'll take a look at special needs Texans are left waiting. And coming up, I'll take a look at your full forecast with the cold front and more rain chances headed your way. Good Morning Lone Star starts right now. Good morning, Lone Star State. I'm David, your news anchor for this morning and chief forecaster for the 4 Storm Alert Weather Team. You will hear some background noise in this newscast today. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at your headlines across the area this morning as we start off with some breaking news right now. From the Local 4 News Alert Team, breaking news. 1 person was killed and 2 injured in a homicide investigation. Results as of on late Saturday. The Austin Police Department said it began investigating an East Austin homicide late Saturday. Police said the homicide occurred near the 2500 block of Sol Wilson Avenue at approximately 10 p.m. APD said 2 men were found with obvious trauma to their bodies. Police said 1 of the men died at the scene while the other was taken to the hospital. APD reported the man taken to the hospital was in stable condition. According to APD, a disturbance led to 3 people being injured, which one of them was a man who died. As of Saturday evening, APD said no one was in custody related to the incident. Police said this incident was being investigated at Austin's 64th homicide of 2023. Again, this is still developing story. Stay with KTXA Local 4 News for more information and updates throughout the day today on Channel 4 here on Spectrum TV and on YouTube TV. All right, first look at weather right now. Let's take a look at the allergy count for today. Air quality is good, mold is low. Cedar, ragweed, and grass are at none for today. Fall elm is in low category. On the storm tracker radar, nothing happening across the area. No alerts this morning. Nothing in our future radar for the next few days. And no severe threat for us at all here at home. Coming up here in a few minutes, we'll talk about some rain chances in your full forecast. So join me here in just a few minutes for an update on that. Alrighty, let's go ahead and talk about what's happening right now. All right, this morning, a Houston police chase ends deadly. Here's some more information about this. Actually, I don't have more information about this. Just a second. They popped up the wrong information. There we go. All right, so an innocent motorcycle rider dies after being hit by a deadly crash. He got stolen by a stolen car on North Freeway at FM 1960. As you see on the right side of the screen from me, that is what the car looked like earlier this morning. A 19-year-old motorcycle rider was killed when they were hit by a stolen car during a chase in North Houston early Monday, according to the Houston Police Department. In the morning near the North Freeway in FM 1960. Houston police said it all started when officers spotted 2 vehicles racing on the North Freeway in Gulf Bend heading north. Then they called air support. Police said the officers tried to initiate a stop, but the suspect driver accelerated heading north at over 100 miles per hour. The driver then exited the freeway at FM 1960, still speeding. The driver ran a red light at the intersection and slammed into the motorcycles heading east on FM 1960. Police said officers stopped to aid the motorcycle rider while the suspect driver continued for another half mile. The suspect vehicle crashed and the teenager male driver was arrested, police said. He was taken to the hospital to be treated for his injuries. Police said the vehicle was stolen Sunday night. The Harris County District Attorney Office is on the scene, also investigating. And quote, we do need stronger laws when it comes to fleeing from the police. And at the quote, HEP Executive Assistant Chief Larry J. Slarter said, we need our legislative and elected officials to revisit this. The suspect driver could face a felon murder charge. Again, this is still a developing story. Again, we'll keep you up to date right here on Local 4 News on KTXA for Spectrum TV and YouTube TV users. All right, sorry about that. Taking a look at traffic this morning, we have some slowdowns just south of south of Austin on I-35 right now. We have a report of a crash just outside of McKinney Falls State Park. Another crash just northeast of Dill Valley, and then and we have a slowdown just north of Austin right now. Traffic jams right now, to total count, total length, that's at 2.7 kilometers. Travel time speeds per 10 kilometers now is 8 minutes and 13 seconds, which is above the usual at this time. We'll give another traffic update here in just a few minutes. All right, some new details this morning. Special needs Texans are waiting on improved services after the election bill fails. In mid-November, major education funding legislation that would have addressed it, some of these shortfalls died in the House. Here's some more information about it here. As we're having some technical difficulties with the story here. There we go. Sorry about that. Amy, educational journey was harder than most. She didn't write her hands, move her feet, or live independently of dedicated caregivers. Daily challenges of life with Quebecois policies. She has, however, thrived throughout her life, excelling in class and on stage, earning her college degree, and working the halls of Texas Capitol are all proud accomplishes her diagnosis could not deter. Her credits is a success to the supports of abundant special education services. The public school professionals who helped her became a gift and talented student in advanced placement courses. The family and friends determined to help her accomplish anything her able-bodied classmates could. She worried, however, that today's special needs students are not getting enough that same people get. Right now, that's not happening for many students with disabilities because there's not enough funding for the amount of paraprofessionals we need, she said. We really need more funding, not less, but I want other students with disabilities who are in education after me to have the same, if not better, experiences than I did. It shouldn't change just because you were born in a different year. Just before year's regularly legislative session, a special commission of lawmakers reported Texas is underfunding special education services by nearly $2 billion. The recommendations for improving services have gone unfulfilled nearly a year later. The final report proved that the state is underfunding the local education agencies by more than $1.8 billion. So instead of diverting funds from general refunds to fund a USA, the commission should first recommend that the state fully funded the GAP that currently exists. Dan Hoberty, the former chairman of the House Public Education Committee, wrote in the Texas Commission on Special Education Funding of December 22nd, and that was according to the reports a while back. So that's what I got for you on that story. Let's go investigating mode. Let's talk about what happened a week ago. Police are investigating a crash between a semi-truck and a train in Hutto. A crash between a semi-truck, tractor trailer, and a train in Hutto left no injuries on Monday. The Hutto Police Department confirmed to us. At approximately 1:50 p.m., police responded to Highway 79 and County Road 132 for a report of a crash. Crews were still on scene at the time this was published. Hutto PD said it was still investigating the crash, which will impact traffic. Drivers are urged to avoid the area. Again, a week later, it is a lot better now. Again, we're investigating that story, and we will once we get more information. It's been a busy holiday weekend at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. With more travelers comes the need for more air traffic controllers, according to some officials. The U.S. Congressman Lloyd Doggett said, luckily, extra staffing is on the way. Shortly before Thanksgiving, Representative Doggett said he spoke with the Federal Aviation Administration's Administrator Mike Whitaker about safety concerns at AUS. The meeting came after Doggett sent a letter to the FAA in October which detailed changes he'd like to see after the airport experienced different incidents where aircrafts were also to hit each other. Having 4 or 5 near misses in less than a year is a really serious danger sign, Doggett said. I contacted the FAA and said we got to do a better job on air traffic control in Austin. 50 people and significant equipment. When it comes to staffing, Doggett was reassured more air traffic controllers are on the way. We will have an additional controller coming to the airport in December, he said. Another one is expected to come in January. Right after the break on Good Morning Lone Star here on KTXA, we're going to talk about how Austin is one of the top cities for millennials to move into 2022. And we'll take a look at your border report at Mexico about how shots fired at Mexican Attorney General's office. We'll have your information and the latest details you need to know with your border report next, right after the break. You're watching Good Morning Lone Star on Spectrum TV and on YouTube TV. We're back after this. All right, this morning's border report is sponsored by Thomas J. Henry. Find more information at thomasjhenry.com for the best attorney in Central Texas. 2 men have been arrested in connections with shots fired over the weekend at the Mexican Attorney General's office building in Taiwan. No one was hurt, but investigators say both men have criminal records. Quote, we also recovered an assault weapon and 2 vehicles, which have been turned over to the state investigators. And end of the quote, said Jose Fernando Sanchez Gonzalez, Director of Taiwan's Public Safety. Sanchez Gonzalez stated the suspects were chased him to the parking lot of a nearby hospital where they got into another vehicle and took off before being apprehended him, following a shootout with police officers. The suspects arrested have been identified as a 21-year-old Juan Francisco N., who has prior convictions for assault and a robbery. The other man has been identified as Jesus Angela M., who is 24 years old. These are details of none of the suspects who took part in the shooting, but we'll leave that up to the state to investigate, said Sanchez Gonzalez. Again, more information coming soon when we have a new border report tomorrow on Good Morning Lone Star. A report came out just a few days ago because of 2022, Austin was one of many cities for millennials. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I can't pronounce it right, but millennials moved in 2022. A new study released by financial technology company Smart Assets this month named Austin one of the most popular destinations millennials moved into 2022. The analysts found 1 in 4 millennials moved to a different city last year, with the study ranking city based on the highest percentage of the population represented by newly transplanted millennials. Austin ranked number 9 in pulling new residents with the age of 25 to 44 age range per the study. The Lone Star State's capital attracted 103,461 millennials, with the new residents marking at 10.7% of the city's overall population. The report added to the median age in Austin is also in line with that trend at 34.7 years old. Austin wasn't the only city representing in the top 10. Killeen ranked at number 8 for its full attraction to nearly 17,000 new millennials, who had up 10.8% of the city's overall population. Per the study, Killeen had even a lower median age, ranking at 30.4 years old. So first place was Cambridge, Massachusetts. Second place was Santa Clara, California. Third place was Seattle, Washington. Fourth place was Sunny Valley, California. Fifth place was Denver, Colorado. Sixth, Arlington, Virginia. Seventh, Bolivarville, Washington. Eighth, Killeen, Texas. And ninth was Austin, Texas. And here's and Sand Springs, Georgia. Of course, you can find more information to read about the study. It's available online if you just look up about the report of millennials of 2022. All right, let's talk about the weather across central Texas. Let's take a look at your pollen report for today. Air quality is in the good category. Mold and fall elm are in the low category for today. On the storm track radar, nothing happening here at home. Across the alert map, nothing going on either. Nothing in our future. Severe risk map, nothing today, nothing tomorrow. But we do got to keep your eyes on for a slight chance of a rain shower later this week on Wednesday. Excuse me. We have a general thunderstorm risk covering pretty much the entire area in our 22 county viewing area. But again, general storm risk, not a severe threat as of right after Wednesday. Flood outlook for today, nothing to worry about for flooding. All right, today's forecast, high temp 57, mostly cloudy. Next few hours, this hour it's in the 40s. Temperatures in the hill country were in the 20s and 30s, below freezing. By noon, mostly cloudy, 51. By 4 p.m., 55 and cloudy. For us tonight, 42, partly cloudy. By 7 p.m., cloudy and 50. 46 by 10 o'clock tonight, and 45 by 1 a.m. with clouds really increasing later tonight. Here's your 7-day forecast. We got partly cloudy conditions on Tuesday. High temp into the low 60s. Continuing the low 60s trend on Wednesday. On Thursday, showers and thunderstorms return to the forecast Thursday. Some storms can be strong, maybe severe. I've heard a lot of talk about severe weather on Thursday for central Texas, maybe even a tornado threat. We'll talk more about this later on with your evening forecast as we go in depth, talking about our severe threat across central Texas. But as of right now, we look okay. But again, this could change. By Friday, we get a cold front. We're back into the 60s. Again, don't worry, the cold front's not going to do much because look at this. Friday, next weekend, and next week, we're mainly in the 60s, upper 60s to near 70. So it felt like fall for the past few days. But guess what? Starting Thursday, we're returning to our early spring weather here in central Texas. Alrighty. Again, that's your forecast across central Texas here in the studio. All right, coming up next, we're going to be talking about a Torrance County woman accused of killing a mother day before Thanksgiving. For some more information. And coming up, we'll talk about an Amber Alert in Texas. A missing Wimberley boy was found safe. Next on Good Morning Lone Star. We'll be back after this. All right. A 25-year-old woman accused of murder in the Tarrant County community of Redon has been taken into custody. Caitlin Mary Bailey faces charges of murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office had sought help from the public to find her, but released no details about the murder she accused of committing. Again, you can find more information from our friends in DFW on Fox 4. A developing story that we've been talking about for several weeks actually, about how a Amber Alert a few weeks ago happened. A Wimberley boy has been found safe who reunites with family in Laredo. And an all-states alert for a missing 10-year-old Dallas County boy who went missing in mid-November after his mom was found dead inside their North Texas home has been canceled. According to the Wimberley Police Department, the alert was discontinued after 10-year-old Ian Arguler was found unharmed in Laredo, Texas, and reunited with his family on Saturday, November 25th. These results from the countless hours of hard work investigations by many law enforcement agencies, support groups, and their counterparts on both the U.S. and Mexico sides of the border. The police department said in a release statement the Amber Alert was initially issued on Tuesday, November 14th. Multiple law enforcement agencies spent several days searching for Ian and his father, which is 38-year-old Argula Canal. Argula Canal was listed as a suspect in the Amber Alert, and he's also wanted a connection to the death of Ian's mother, which is 48 years old. Ian's sister had a huge statement about this. I'm not going to read the whole statement because it's like 3 paragraphs long. Of course, you can find more on NBCDFW.com/news for more information. All right, join us next. We're talking about the serious deadly crash in Houston and how a 19-year-old boy on a motorcycle died this morning. We're back after this. You're watching Local 4 News on this Monday. Welcome back to Good Morning Lone Star. I'm news anchor and chief forecaster David. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Right now it is 8:33 on this November 27th. We only got 2 days left till November's over. So that's what we have. All right, here's some more information about how in Houston a traffic crime police chase was on North Freeway on FM 1960. This is brought to you by KHOU 11 in Houston.
Jennifer, thank you. And we're going to pick up on that breaking news you just mentioned. This morning out of North Harris County, where an innocent person was killed after being hit by a stolen vehicle. This all happened around 2 o'clock this morning on the North Freeway and FM 1960. According to Houston police, officers were chasing the driver of a stolen Kia when that driver crashed into a motorcycle at an intersection. Unfortunately, the motorcyclist did die and the suspect was arrested. Police are now investigating.
Again, I believe they have live coverage on KHOU, and I may get some of that coverage pulled up on here. Actually, no, they ended it. Never mind. But anyways, again, an innocent motorcycle rider died. And again, it's a very sad story to hear about. Yeah. All right. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer airs today at 7 on CBS on our sister station. So join us on there. And also, 2 inmates escaped Texas County Jail northeast of DFW, officials say. Again, a very crazy story. And Vice President of the United States is visiting Houston today. We'll take a look at more top stories across Central Texas. Like sports, a jury selection to begin in trial of an inmate accused of killing disabled teen at Harris County Jail. Also, we'll talk about Andrew Johnson. It says rumors that JJ Watt is returning to football. And we'll talk about late missed field goal dooms Texans and lose to Jaguars. Also, Longhorns are playing Oklahoma State this weekend. You're watching Local 4 News. Good morning, Lone Star. We're back after this. All right, we have some more information here about the breaking news in Houston with a deadly crash this morning. So let's go ahead and throw it over to KHOU live, brought to you live from CBS this mid-morning.
For air support and help. A supervisor got on there to bring in before we tried to initiate the stop. But once the officers got up on the freeway, it appears that the suspect witnessed it or saw that, and they even accelerated from that point well over 100 miles an hour. The officer initiated his traffic emergency equipment to get the vehicle to stop because of the danger on the road and try to get this thing stopped. The suspect continued northbound, fleeing at a high rate of speed. Approximately 6 minutes later, because the suspect did not stop and obey the commands, the suspect exited here for the exit for 1960 northbound on the Cerberus Road, still at that high rate of speed. Reportedly, there was a red light. The suspect did not even slow down for it, blowing through the red light. Sadly, our complainant here on the ground, a young male on a motorcycle, was going eastbound on 1960 at the same time, and the suspect struck him right here in a horrendous crash. The suspect didn't even stop. He kept on going. Our primary officer stopped immediately and jumped out and immediately trying to render aid, doing CPR on our complainant here on the scene. Our suspect continued up about a half mile. A unit behind our primary unit continued following him. It appears that from the crash, the vehicle was disabled and could not go any further. The suspect jumped out on foot and ran into a dealership that's just right up the road. Our officers pursued, captured.
So that was live feed from the Houston Police Department as they do a little press conference about the police chase that ended deadly on North Freeway and FM 1960 just a few hours ago. Again, pretty sad story to hear about that 19-year-old boy that passed away. This happened around 2:15 in the morning too, so very early for police to. A lot of people up early for that special story. All right, we will continue to keep you up to date on stories. You're watching Local 4 News this morning with Lone Star. We are back right after this.
Right now, the search is on for these two men, two escaped inmates out of Fannin County. It's about 40 miles north of McKinney. Come take a look at your screen. Sheriff's office say these two escaped the county jail Saturday night and were last seen running southeast of that jail into a wooded area. Now, the sheriff's office says do not approach them if you see them, and they're asking anyone with information to call 911.
All right, that's brought to you by KHOU. So KHOU, get more information from them about that story.
An update now to a story we first brought you as breaking news last night. Tonight, police continue to investigate a drive-by shooting outside Katy Mills Mall. The first 911 call started coming in around 9 p.m. Saturday. Officers responded within just 2 minutes. And tonight, we're getting a closer look inside that police response. Listen.
Everybody needs to start heading that way. All black hoodies. One ran eastbound through the mall parking lot.
Someone is going towards the patient. He's stating he might bleed out.
We're going to have to start a search of this mall just so we can clear it to make sure.
Katy Police Chief Noah Diaz says 3 shooting victims were taken to the hospital but are expected to be okay. Witnesses recalled what happened after they heard the gunfire.
All of a sudden we hear through the txwx, which is the little mics we wear, that there's an active shooter in the mall. So they had us all line up and like hide in this one room.
Law enforcement officials say they quickly learned this was never an active shooter situation, but instead some sort of fight or issue between two groups of teens. 6 juveniles were detained as a result of the shooting. No word tonight if any charges have been filed. Katie Mills sent us this statement after the shooting, saying, quote, "The safety and security of our shoppers, retailers, and employees is our highest priority. We have an elevated police and security presence at the property and are grateful for their quick response last night to this isolated incident."
Welcome back to KTXA Local 4 News. You're watching Good Morning Lone Star. Join us in 15 minutes for a whole recap of your headlines and stories across the area. All right, if you didn't know, today is Cyber Monday. Brought to you by KVU News. Our friends over there have some tips for you to protect yourself from scams.
And the holiday shopping season is here. Today is Cyber Monday, and people want to browse for deals and, watch out for those big steals. The BBB, Better Business Bureau, reports that it's seeing an increase of 18 to 24-year-olds falling for scams, though. KVU's Isabella Bosco is joining us live from downtown Austin to share some tips. So, Isabella, what do we need to look out for? What are those tall tale signs?
Well, Yvonne, as we wait for those deliveries to hit our door, the BBB says we should expect packages from Amazon, FedEx, or UPS. But another thing to look out for is those generic emails or texts that are asking for information. Now, BBB San Antonio's Jason Meza says to look out for those inbound unsolicited texts or emails that says there's a delivery waiting for you. So when you place an order, make sure to keep the original email or text from the purchase and don't deviate from that tracking link or number. Scammers could also try to text you. So be wary of smishing messages. That's those messages that try to get shoppers to location.
Don't let your guard down at any point during this season if you're online shopping or waiting for deliveries, because they'll catch you. They'll catch you when you're least expecting it, and you'll fall down and end up becoming a victim at some point.
And also consider creating an account with the shippers, and that's where you can monitor your alerts and preferences and report any and make sure to also report any suspicious activity to the shipper and to law enforcement. Now, the BBB says it's also seeing an increase in scams amongst 18 to 24-year-olds and that's because they're swiping without reading that fine print. So make sure to do that this holiday season to avoid any stress. Back to you, Yvonne.
All right. Thank you so much, Isabella. Live downtown for us. Well, make sure.
Alrighty. Shout out to KVU News.
And have our
You're watching Local 4 News. Good morning, Central Texas. I'm David here with your news and weather here. Let's go ahead and take a look at about how Austians roast rally, in honor of fallen officers.
A small to honor the Austin Police Department. The group meeting at the Capitol Sunday afternoon, strolling through the streets of downtown Austin, and eventually settling at City Hall, making speeches.
Want to find solutions. These officers cared enough about us as human beings that they would have died for us.
And remembering those in uniform who have fallen.
It wasn't just enough to get the word out about our first officer that we lost on November 11th. We had two other tragedies, Christy and also Ray.
On that fateful November 11th day, Senior Officer George Pastor was shot and killed during a SWAT incident in South Austin. Another officer was also injured. Soon after, 2 more Austin police officers would lose their lives in unrelated incidents.
The last week and a half have reminded us that there's some realities to the job and sacrifices that can be expected of us, and then the demands of the job.
A job Austin Police Association President Michael Bullock says is getting harder for a department suffering from staffing shortages and a lack of resources.
They're tired.
As this group calls for solutions and change,
we all need to take a hard look at what we're doing wrong and stop that.
Officials say they only hope to do what they can to honor those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, while also looking out for those in the line of duty.
We want to continue to honor everyone that we've lost and fight for our department and our city so that we can make it a safe place for people to live and work and, enjoy life here.
In Austin, Kelsey Sanchez, KVUE News.
What am I doing wrong? I'm putting my blood, sweat, and tears into these ads.
Why aren't you using native ads to reach potential customers when they're their most engaged at the end of an article they've just read?
Black Friday has lost some of its spark. Retail executives remain concerned with a spending slowdown throughout the rest of the holiday season amid rampant inflation and dwindling savings.
This economy, it's really hard. So we had to save some gift cards and
We've been saving up like months ahead.
Yeah.
Try to
make it work.
keep it normal.
Retailers also say online shopping has put a damper on the joy of the holiday as companies roll out discounted prices days before to snag consumers' money first, with some deals even coming out as early as October. A YouGov survey that interviewed 1,000 Americans found roughly half had no plans to participate in Black Friday shopping at all due to overcrowded stores and unavailable merchandise. Meanwhile, of those who did plan on going shopping, 28% plan on spending less than they did in the years before.
Retailers are finding that consumers are a little tighter with their dollar in that they're spending more on essential goods and services. So what that means is that they've had to increase the amount of discounts that they have across products.
But the day of shopping is still a tradition for hundreds of families who made sure to get up early for the in-person experience.
We got up at 4 to get here for 5 because we knew it opened at 6, and there's literally no one here. I'm really shocked, but happy that we're first.
The National Retail Federation estimated a record 130.7 million people are expected to shop both in stores and online in the U.S. Taylor Tinsley, One America News.
45th President Donald Trump's met with cheers in the early primary state of South Carolina. On Saturday, he attended the Clemson USC game and was met with thousands of cheering fans before the game started. He was invited by South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster, who is endorsing Trump over his predecessor, Nikki Haley. Polls show the 45th president dominating the South Carolina primaries, defeating Haley by 30 points. Well, a bottle of Macallan 1926 fetches over $2.7 million at Sotheby's in London. The bottle of scotch was sold Saturday and is reportedly the oldest vintage bottle of the whiskey ever produced. The auction house said the liquor is also considered to be the most sought after Scotch whiskey in the world, and the bottle was expected to sell for between $930,000 to $1.4 million, but stunned everyone when it sold for a record-breaking $2.7 million. Well, the head of Sotheby's, who has only tasted a drop of this vintage whiskey, says the Macallan 1926 has a very rich taste of dried fruit.
All right, join me at 9 o'clock for another hour of Good Morning Lone Star. We'll take a look at your headlines across the area. We're back after this. All right, coming up on Good Morning Lone Star with another hour, we're going to be talking about a brand new homicide in East Austin. Also, we'll talk about a new air traffic controller coming to Austin airports. Also, special need, Texans are left waiting. And I'll talk about your full forecast coming up here in just a few minutes. Good Morning Lone Star starts now. welcome over to Good Morning Lone Star, Central Texas. David here. Hope you guys having a great morning here. Let's go ahead and talk about what's happening across the state of Texas. We got breaking news to talk about, so let's go ahead and get into our headlines this morning. The Austin PD said to begin investigation and an East Austin homicide late Saturday. Police said the homicide occurred near the 2500 block of Sol Wilson Avenue at approximately 10 o'clock at the night. Police responded to the area after multiple callers reported hearing gunshots. APD said 2 men were found with obvious trauma to their bodies. Find more information on our website with this breaking news. All right, first look at weather right now. Today's pollen mold is finally in the low, along with fall ill now. Air quality is good. On the radar, nothing here at home. On the alert map, nothing happening. And in our future track with the radar, nothing happening. So dry weather today, but coming up in your full 4-storm alert weather forecast, we got rain chances, a cold front, and a warming trend. We'll talk more about that in your full update in your weather here in just a few minutes. Let's switch gears and jump to traffic this morning with some breaking traffic news. Again, last hour we talked quite a bit about news of traffic. Houston police chase ended deadly. A 19-year-old motorcycle rider was killed because a stolen car happened during a chase in North Austin early this morning at 2:15 at near the North Freeway at FM 1960. Police said the officers tried to indicate a stop, but the suspect driver accelerated, heading north at over 100 miles per hour. The driver then exited the freeway at FM 1960, still speeding. The suspect crashed, and the teenager male driver was arrested, police said. He was taken to the hospital, treated for his injuries. Houston Police Department on X said HOD commanders and PIO en route to a fatal crash at North Freeway at FM 1960. Per LEM Info's officers were pursuing a stolen vehicle, and suspect vehicle struck a motorcyclist. One person deceased, which is dead. More information, info to come from the scene, said Houston Police. Jennifer Rana, TV worker, she said a fatal crash on 45 North Freeway at FM 1960. Investigation continues, blocking you from crossing Olds from Ritchie. Still developing story. Traffic across Central Texas looks okay this morning. And some slowdowns. There's one little crash just southwest of Mini Falls State Park. Another crash northeast of Del Valley. And then one just outside of Gateway this morning. So 3 incidents that we're tracking. Traffic jams only 8 minutes above the usual time on a usual day, on a Monday. New details this morning. Where it is? There it is. Amy's educational journey was harder than most. She didn't write with her hands, move with her feet, or live independently of dedicated caregivers.